us about Carlos and Chris and the weeks that they had?
We took care of those guys this week to make sure that both be ready to play. We're counting on both of them.
And with Josh Gordon, can you just talk about his return to the team and what he brings?
Yeah, well, I'm really happy for Josh that he gets a chance to come back and play. He's worked really hard to make that a possibility. And our experience with Josh, he was a great guy. Yeah, he worked hard, learned well, played hard, did a lot of nice stuff. We know him a lot better now. It'll be different him coming to us this time around, as we were learning him last time. But I'm mostly thrilled for Josh to have the opportunity, and we're going to have a really good football player that come try to help us out down the stretch.
Curtis.
Yeah, Pete, how's Brandon Shell working his way back? I know he's doubtful, but how's his process kind of going? And we saw when we were out there, Cedric sitting on the side too. So how's he doing? Is he okay?
Well, first off, he's kind of made a turn where he's really starting to move now. It would be a surprise if he can play on this weekend, but he's getting real close. I would think he's really has turned the corner to get well here. Cedric got something bothering his calf a little bit, so we just rested him today. That showed up in the early part of practice today, so we didn't know about it until today.
John?
Yeah, Pete, on a couple occasions this week, you kind of unprompted brought up a bad first quarter that you had and called yourself out for. Why is that important to you to sort of call yourself out when you think you've messed up?
Well, I saw it as a teachable moment, really. Coaching is teaching, and the messages that we send and stand for and all that with our players, are always illustrated better when you use your, examples and stuff that just happened and all that. And I'm really hoping that this team continues to be willing to hold themselves accountable, and to, be really straightforward and on it, and willing to say, I did this, I could have done that, and if I'm not doing that, how can I expect them to do it? So I took it as a teachable moment, and our coaches and players are all working hard, to be the best they can possibly be, and part of that is sometimes you gotta say when you messed up. It's kind of uncommon, you don't hear people do that very often, and so it was just one of those moments.
Michael Sean.
Sorry, just to clarify, you said earlier Carlos is good to go. You have two Carloses on the injury report. Which one were you referring to there?
We were talking running backs at the time. In my mind, we'll find out about about Carlos Dunlap here at the end of the week. He was pretty bright-eyed about it today. We'll see what happens. By the way, I think we should mention that baby Pearl has come to the world for John Boyle, a little baby in the midst. So congratulations, big fella. Nice going.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Pete, what was Russell's combine interview like?
Yeah, I remember it really well. It was just a memorable get-together, and I've told you guys before that somebody had given us advice when you meet Russell, don't be surprised if he comes on pretty strong, and he's going to say some things that you're going to think, oh, there's no way that could happen, or he's kind of blowing things up or whatever. And the guy said, if I were you, I'd believe what he says, and I've always remembered that thought. I go into the meeting, and John and I and the guys were all there, and we just went about asking him the questions on. He was just very confident, very clear. Really seemed level-headed, feet on the ground. Really, he wasn't intimidated by the setting and all. We had him in a big kind of boardroom setting and all that, and he handled himself beautifully. And I just remember that he was, really impressive. And so he kind of backed up everything that we had hoped to see, and that kind of started the whole thing really in earnest.
When you say like Russ speaking like hyperbole or superlatives or whatever, was that like on-field stuff or was that like life stuff that they were kind of forewarning you about?
I didn't know. I didn't know what the guy was talking about, but I just, it was about what it was. He was letting me know that he's going to be very confident. He's going to be very sure of himself, and he might, make some claims about this and that, and you might want to take him seriously about it. And I don't know, I can't remember who that was that told me, but I've never thought differently about Russ since that time, though, for whatever reason. And he's backed everything up.
Thanks.
Joe.
Pete, is Cedric your guy again at right tackle?
If he's ready to go, yeah. Yeah, he he got through the first game. He's going to be much better his next time out, and just as guys they get a chance to improve. He played better as the game went on. So if we can get him out there, we'll count on him to do a good job.
Corbin.
Hey, Pete, in your career, you've never been afraid to give players second, third chances when they've made mistakes. Josh Gordon obviously has had a number of issues since he came into the league that he's had to deal with. But from a coaching and personal standpoint, how important is it to you to provide those opportunities? And was there a specific example that really showed you that I should provide these chances for players when they've made mistakes?
Yeah, I have felt that for a long time. It really goes back. My dad taught me that a long time ago. He was a liquor salesman in San Francisco for years, and he had all kinds of stories about his guys coming and going off his sales force when he was a sales manager. And at a really young age, he just said, guys deserve a second chance. And so I've just kind of held on to that. It's no big revelation. But if guys have worked hard and they've done the things that they need to do, and they have the resolve that makes you believe that they can give their best shot, I'm more than happy to give guys an opportunity. I look for that chance. You're right.
Art.
As your defensive line rotation worked like you expected? I mean, with Harrison now, he had 18 snaps, I guess, 25% in the last game, or is it time for more snacks? Really are. We're just trying to figure it out as we go a little bit here, as we get to know our guys and how they play and all. Clint does a really nice job of, he's gauging it during the game. Depends on how the game's going, the style of the game, and how guys are performing too. So that's way more subjective than it is just 25 plays and see what happens. So I like the way it's going right now. I have no reason to change it. I really think that Poona Ford has really made some big steps forward in the last 3 or 4 weeks, it seems. We played him a lot more at 3 technique, and he's been more available to us in pass rush. He's been all over the field. And so, we're trying to figure that out as he grows there. He played a lot of nose tackle, in the past for us. So it's not a set scale right now. We're still learning, and see how it goes. You can see we're growing as a defense every week now, and this is a really important time for us to gauge and to figure that out as we go down the stretch. I know you think it's real late in the season, we should know, but we haven't had these guys out there in these combinations like we do now. So we're learning, and the main thing is to not overplay anybody and wear them out, and Clint does a really good job of that.
Bob.
Hey, Pete, what happened with Trey Flowers? Because he looked like he played all the game the other night, but just kind of came out with something after it? Or?
Yeah, he came out of the game with his hamstring tight, did the MRI thing, and he's got something that we have to deal with. It's not a serious hamstring injury, but it's enough to really bother him this week, and to expect for him to turn around and bounce back around on this week is a lot to expect. We'll see what happens. We'll take him all the way up to weekend.
DJ Reed likely the guy then there? Or?
Yeah, he played there last time and did a nice job.
Masvita.
Hey, Pete, I know you'd rather have the fans obviously in the stands, but on your home record, how can you just talk about how the players' ability to source out energy that's helped the home record there? When these plays source themselves.
Yeah, we've really, it's been as big an emphasis that's new for us than anything that we've really come across here in terms of our game day stuff. That's about we've always talked this way, but it's just been more of an emphasis than ever that we have to provide the energy. You can't, wait and see what's going on. If you wait and see on the plays and that occur in the game, we just have to bring it from start to finish. And so it's been a big calling for the staff and the players and the guys that are sidelined on the game to play a role and really work hard at making sure that we're there to support one another. And imagine the factor that we're missing here. Jeez. It's one of the great factors in sport, and so we have to try and figure a way to connect with each other and feed off one another, which we do anyway, but it's even more of a calling now than ever.
Greg?
Hi, Pete. What have you thought about Josh Gordon and in your program might be the fix here, might be the thing that sets him right that maybe other places haven't been able to solve it?
Well, what I hope happens here, Greg, is that we apply the same principles that we apply to everybody. We're trying to figure out how to help our guys be the best they can be. And in Josh's case, he's got some unique circumstances that he brings with him and things that he's been through and all. And so we're gonna try to be an extraordinary support system for him, so that he can aspire and take it wherever he can take it. There's competitively, it wouldn't surprise you to say that, for me to say that, I love this opportunity to try to help him out and try to figure out a way to give him the backing that he needs, give him the toughness that he needs, to be the understanding that he needs, so that he can find a way to really function smoothly and find his way to the best he has to offer. And so he brings a unique challenge, and as everybody does, but he's got his own set of circumstances, and we're going to try to be there for him.
Joe?
Last week, Chris had just 10 touches. Are you kind of happy with that number? Would you like to keep him there for now, or do you think maybe you give him some more run this weekend?
More is good. I love seeing Chris play, and it worked out pretty well with a couple catches too, and all that. But it's likely that Chris will get the ball more than that. We ran the ball 30 times last week, and Russ had a few of those. So it's a good number for us to shoot for, for these guys, and split it up with Carlos and see what happens. I don't really care who gets the most, but I would like to see Chris get the ball a little bit more than that.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, what's the update with Rashad Penny and Darrell Taylor? Where are they at?
Yeah, Rashad is practicing next week. We're finally on it. We've made the commitment, and we're doing it, and so that one is for sure. I have not heard back on Darrell's trip that he took to. He left town to see some docs, and so we'll find out about that when we do. I don't have any information on it yet. Sorry.
Brady?
Hey, Pete, going back to the support plan with Josh, is that any different than the last time he was here? And I think players in similar situations, I think they've had something that's referred to as like an accountability coach. Do you have anything like that as part of your plan?
We have a real, hopefully it's because we know Josh better now. We've been around him, and he's comfortable with us, and there's a good level of trust there, which is really important in this. We'll have a really good system for him, in all ways. He brings with him, a complex group of support, and we'll allow for that, and then we'll add to it where it fits.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
We're good. See you.